All right, so obviously we don't really have a plan with this. This is for the YouTube disclaimer. We don't really have a plan with this. Royal 2 and I are going to be talking about our careers and kind of using this as a platform to talk about stuff that's happened throughout our careers and hopefully use it for Halo Infinite. So, Royal 2, for those of you that do not know, we've been teaming since 2011. Matt, did you go pro? Your first year was 2011, right?
Thrust, baby. Shot thrust. Grande meal.
Yeah, so I was a professional player starting in 2009, and then Royal 2 became a pro in 2011, where we've been teaming since then.
What do you consider pro, though?
Back then, it was top 16.
Okay, well, if you...
Well, really top 8. I mean,
yeah,
top 16
was, like, considered pro, because you did get a stipend at top 16.
Yeah.
So I guess I wasn't pro, but I got 15 or top 16 in my second Halo 3 event, but I didn't go to another tournament.
But you didn't
so
go to another. Really, I was gonna say you didn't go to. I wasn't
really considered pro, but
if you had gone, because you need to be a top 16 seeded team to receive a stipend.
Yeah, I don't.
So I mean, like you technically in Halo 3 placed pro.
I wasn't a pro. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously been teaming for, it's been like 9 years.
Dude, it's actually disgusting.
Yeah. We've had some off time in between that and whatnot because, we're waiting 5 years for a game to release. But, dude, I don't know. It's crazy to think, like, because you placed top 8 before we started teaming, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're on...
It was the first event of Reach.
The first event.
When I was teaming with...
I knocked you out.
Dude. Well, I don't know why I feel like I always play you or something.
Oh,
you've knocked me out twice.
You've played me twice. Yeah, we played. Because you think
it's
that
always like
you think that because we played
twice. It's like always the same team. Warriors like lose.
You say it's always the same. We've been teaming for 9 years.
Okay, well, I'm sick of it, but
it was just that 1 year that we happened to play twice. Real quick, I mean, it's funny to think about it because obviously I think most people probably know that we've been teaming that long, but it's like you kind of mentioned, it's crazy to think how long we've really been teaming for. When we formed our team with like me, you, Wes, and Wes being Clutch for those of you that don't know, and Dursky, what did you think? Like, we were the two youngest pros at the time, and we were obviously forming this team. What did you think when we were forming the team?
Actually, that's actually pretty crazy. I forgot because I was watching a video and I remember Pucko was like Rule 2, the youngest pro, and then it was Snakebite. And that's actually kind of crazy that you were like the youngest, and then I came in and we were like both the youngest. You were like just a year older or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I actually didn't know what our team like because I teamed with. I actually don't remember teaming with Wes for some reason. The event before, did I team with Wes? Yeah, I did. It was me, best man. Okay. But I never teamed with you or Sean, so I was like so confused. Like I didn't know what to actually expect, but I knew you guys were like top players because I used to watch like Halo 3 events, obviously, and you were playing, and Sean was always like on like a top, like 8 to like 12 or whatever team he was on. So it's kind of like, okay, I know these guys are like good. It's just kind of like up to me to like show them how good I am, kind of type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know speaking for myself, like I had a couple team options at the time. It was between our team that ended up being Warriors, obviously, with the roster that I just listed. I was almost on BTH at the time with Snipe Down, Maniac, and Cloud. And then there was another team with like Strong Side, Crimsix, and I think it was Twin Saber. Were all asking me to team. But it's crazy. It's crazy thinking about it because if I would have just went to BTH, I think BTH ended up going with Reliable over me. I don't remember like how it all happened. It's crazy to think of the timeline, the alternate universe timeline. You know what I mean?
Imagine. Where'd you be if?
I was like super happy with it because I don't know if you remember when we first formed the team. I don't want to stay on this too long because obviously we got about 9 years to cover. But when we first formed the team, you remember how good we were online? Like from the second we formed.
Dude, was that when I was hosting too?
Yeah, so I don't think there was hosting. Was there hosting back in Reach?
Yeah, there was.
I thought you just pulled host.
There wasn't hosting. I think it's like
I thought you pulled host.
I think it was like you pulled host, I'm pretty sure, like H3.
Yeah. See, I remember we goosed like 4 different teams.
And I got a new Xbox, like not on purpose. Like I actually just got a new Xbox, so I was pulling host for like a week.
Yeah.
And when I tell you it was just like strictly poundage, like I don't know what to tell you. Like we were actually I was literally just like because my connection was so bad back then. Like I actually had bad connection, not just like ping, but like my connection sucked.
Two uploads.
I had like I literally had like one upload, and I couldn't even. It was terrible. So I'd host, and it was like really bad. But we were just like, oh my god, we were farming literally everybody.
Yeah.
Remember we made Ryan quit out of the scrim.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, he just quit.
I remember a lot of them, man. Twilight threatening to fight your dad. Ryan quitting, goosing multiple people. It was good times, man.
We actually have some good stories. Yeah,
we do.
We made people like lose their mind.
I think online Halo will do that to a lot of people,
dude. Especially peer to peer, like back then, yellow bar, like
you're just you're yellow bar. Meanwhile, Matt's literally just a juggernaut pushing the other teams.
I'm screaming, oh my god!
All right, so immediately we formed that team. For first event, we got third. We choked to get second. We won't talk about that. Next event, we had 2000. Yeah, we had we were up 3-0 or 3-1 on TJ's team for loser bracket finals. You don't remember that? We played them in pool. I
actually don't even remember that. Wow.
Yeah, so we had played them in pool play. We either 3-0'd them or 3-1 them, I think. Something like that. And then I think we were winning on Sunday versus them. I don't know what we were up, but we went game 11 and lost to them.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, and then we had 2011 Nats. Dude, 2011 Nats was actually one of, like, I'm not even joking. To this day, it was probably one of the craziest runs of my career. Like, through a loser's bracket. I mean, would you say the same thing? I mean,
I thought it was out at top 16.
Because we were
top 16 at
we
Nats.
played against. I don't even know what their team was, but we played against Aries Carries in our round.
I think it was just Active Rush, no? I think it was.
That sounds like the team they would have been on.
Because I think it was Alumni, Aries.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sneaky Beaver, right? Was he on that team?
I think so. I just
know it was Aries and Alumni
we played
for sure.
Anyway, we get third. We play those guys round one. You know, it's meant to be a pretty typical round one for us. Like, you know, we just got third. When I tell you, I mean, Matt, Aries Carries, the greatest player you've ever played against. No,
dude, like we're playing on Feature Station. He's like evading off things, like no scoping, like shit you've never seen before. Like we're just like, what is happening?
We got the hottest 3-0 you've ever seen. Aries Carries is evading off of all kinds of ramps, no scoping everybody. And then the next series we played after that, like, you know, we're super tilted. The next series we play after that, I don't know. We played a European team, and I don't remember.
It was like Riot's team, or it was not.
I just know Riots was on the team. I don't know who else was on it at the time. Dude, we went to game 5, like 50-47.
Dude. But you should see like the backstory before. Like we go to Subway. We're all like.
I thought Subway was after that.
No, it was before. We had a huge team talk. It was like weird. We had like a team talk, and we're like,
after round 1, we had a huge team talk.
Yeah, like because we lost to Aries, and we're like, dude, because aren't we in losers bracket if you don't get first, you're in losers bracket, right?
I don't think it was pool play. It was round 1. There was no pool play. It couldn't have been pool play.
Really?
Yeah, it could not have been pool play. It had to have been.
I did not know that.
It had to have been. We played Aries team round 1. And then Riot's team was like the next team. I think Riot's and then were the next team we played.
Because we were playing for top. We were playing for top 12.
Yeah,
that was literally for top 12. Was playing
no. That. Oh yeah. Okay, sorry, you're right.
Because if we beat Aries' team, we go to like top 8
top
or something.
6
but
or
since we
top
lost,
8,
we went all the way down to like top. Like we were playing for top 12 basically. Yeah. It was
like
weird.
Because what Matt was bringing up about the Subway thing, we'll talk about it a little bit. Because honestly, I think this is all good stuff to cover, and then we'll dive on more and more and see how long this whole thing runs. Make another episode if anything. But so we lose round 1. Dude, I don't like. Man, we must have been panicking pretty bad because we lost round 1 to Aries Carries. Alumnites doing their like Aaron Rodgers like belt on us.
Bro,
after
he stood on his chair.
He stood on top of his chair to like and belted like did the belt over us.
Like
we go to Subway. Bro, that had to have been one of the most like depressing meals I think I've ever had, because you remember Sean and Wes both said to us like,
bro, I'm literally I'm eating a foot long. I'm literally eating a foot long in the cafeteria, and I have Dursky and Clutch both telling me that they're gonna like, if we do, they're like, this might be my last tournament. If we get knocked out, like, I don't know if I can keep doing.
It's
been
it's been a blast.
Bro, I'm
teaming.
15. I'm just sitting there like, dude, let me eat my foot long and like, bro, snap out of it. Like these guys are literally retiring in front of me. The tournament's still going on. We're having like this depressing like team talk. Like I don't even want to eat anymore. I'm gonna puke. These guys are just
they were retiring right in front of us basically.
Yeah, it was actually insane.
It was so sad. It was like, man, like I love this team. Like, no matter what happens, I appreciate that we got this.
Is like, it was like a movie scene, when they have like the last like hoorah, like that's literally what it was. Like I don't know, it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, you would have thought that would have like snapped us out of our vibes because
we actually almost lost.
That's again. The typical story of like you have a team talk and then all of a sudden you start playing great, but we actually still played. We played.
We actually
awful.
Almost lost.
Yeah, we played against a European team. No offense to them.
And they were shitting too.
They're on fire too. Riots is peeling everybody. Game 5. We ended up winning that game 5, and then that's when I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. But
I think we finally like snapped into it. I don't know. Yeah. It like took us almost losing, losing once and almost losing.
We played against the team that we lost to last event, which was Infamous. Was that their team?
Yeah, that was their team.
Infamous, so we played against Infamous, which is TJ, APG, Rhino.
Yeah, TJ, APG, Rhino,
Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze.
We play them. For,
Formal.
We play them. No.
Dynasty. On Dynasty. Yes, Blaze.
So we play them for top 8, and we end up beating them. Did we 3-0? No,
yeah. I thought we 3-0'd them pretty. I thought we got kind of beat them pretty bad. Like I remember it wasn't like that hard. It was either 3-1 or 3-0. It was definitely not like even.
I actually think it was a 3-0, and I remember winning game 2 50-49. So I think it was a 3-0. Do you remember the game 1?
Because I remember not even like. No, I actually don't remember anything.
Well, so game 1. We were up 3-0 in the Pit CTF. You don't remember this? And then I had the wrong game type on.
Oh, that was that?
Yeah, that was that.
And then wait, there's that when Eric was freaking out?
No. That Eric's on BTH. So I did it twice in one tournament.
Dude,
it was my bad.
Dude,
like,
dude. This guy's literally This guy's putting the wrong game types on. Like,
dude, in my defense, like I don't normally host, and then
dude,
you're
so
flipping
bad.
through. There's 30 game types. Like I don't know.
It was so bad because we were up 3-0. We were literally running another flag, and we went to go return it, and it returned instantly. And we're like, dude, this is the wrong. Like no one. We didn't even know it was the wrong game type until we were like almost done the game.
Because that's how much. Because we were dominating
we were
so much
so
that
hard
game
that like Oh my god.
And then remember how mad West was because he was like plus 10 or something like that.
Yeah, and then West goes neg, and then we win.
We won, so we replay it. The refs let us replay it. I didn't know what happened. Like I didn't know that I put on the wrong thing. I thought someone messed with the game types because back then like you genuinely could.
Well, you just put it on.
You could go in and just change any game type you wanted. So Wes is so mad because he was like plus 10 in the first game. We replay it and then he was like neg 10.
And he goes, of course, the game we replay, I go neg 10. They take this. They don't take the stats for the first game.
Dude, I'm trying to think of like, okay, so basically, long story short, for this tournament, we go on to get second place. We lose to Instinct. Dude, what were the other teams that we beat? We beat Infamous, Dynasty,
Classic.
Fnatic,
or I guess
that's
Fnatic.
Classic, right?
That's Classic. Yeah, they're just called Fnatic.
Status Quo,
Dynasty, SQ, Classic,
BTH.
Yeah, BTH because we beat BTH to go to the final. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, BTH got third. BTH got third.
Okay. We played Dynasty for top 4.
BTH. I think we 3-0'd Infamous. I think we 3-0'd SQ. I'm pretty sure we 3-0 Dynasty, and then we went like game 5 with Classic and BTH.
What was the tournament that we kept? We went 3 game 5s in a row because Wes and Zella
that was Orlando. That was the first event that we played. We were up 2-0 on Triggers Down.
Oh, we went game 6.
Yeah, we were up 2-0, and then we had game 6. Bro, I wish that footage would be the most viewed thing ever if people saw that comeback.
Dude, there's the stuff that was happening. Like I don't know. Like, dude, I did some crazy shit, and then like West, we like commanded the troops by like a 10-kill lead with like 30 seconds left. It was actually
Triggers Down had like an 8-kill lead with 30 seconds left, and we won by 1 kill.
I still remember. I can literally picture what was happening because Wes was sitting next to me. I think I like saw his screen, and it was like I can remember what's happening. It's like, we gotta push. He grabs rockets. Like, oh my god.
You ever think about like some of the game 5s we've been to of like if it didn't go our way? I mean, because we've lost a lot of game 5s, to be fair. Like fast forward to like H2A, right? Like we lose loads of game 5s.
Yeah.
But back in like Reach, when we were establishing our careers, you ever think about like how all those game 5s were going our way? Like imagine if they didn't, you know?
We could be getting top 12, knocked out by a European team.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
dude, that run, like I said, that run was probably one of the most insane runs you'll ever see.
It was a long day. It was
a very long day. Yeah, so okay, we get third, we get second. Obviously, one of the most incredible runs. I think there's a run in Call of Duty that was technically better than us because someone went on to win the whole thing.
Yeah,
because it was losers round 1 all the way to the finals. If we would have won it, it would have been up there. Then 9 days before the tournament, 2012 Reach event, 9 days before the tournament, we decide to part ways with Wes and Dursky.
It's his favorite story.
And go team with Flamesword and Enable. I mean, not much to say about it, right? I mean, you just got to risk it for the biscuit. You got to try to get the win, right?
We literally made a team change like 3 weeks before a tournament.
Yeah, I think it was literally I think it was literally 9 days before.
It was something crazy because we made the team change, went to a LAN for like 3 days, and then the tournament was like 2 weeks later or something like that. And it was really quick. We had like barely any time to practice. It was kind of just like to go to the LAN, that was our practice, and then go to the tournament.
I mean, like back then too, like so we thought it was we knew, right? It was the last Halo event that we were gonna have for a while because Halo Reach at the time was kind of like on the table. We tried really hard. This is kind of like, I guess, history lesson for people at this point because some people might have followed it, some might not. But we were trying really hard because we started having internal issues, like Dursky and Clutch kind of like didn't want a team anymore. Basically, the vibes were off, right, Matt?
Yeah. Some people didn't want it as bad anymore.
So we decided with Sean, that we were gonna be trying to replace Wes, but we couldn't get anybody to join. Like we tried getting Enable wouldn't join. We tried getting Flamesword wouldn't join. I think we thought about picking up Cleat, right?
Yeah.
Salt.
I think we ran games with them. But ultimately decided not to. Or something.
Just I don't know. It's just one of those things, right? It ended up working out. We ended up winning.
We just had to risk it for the biscuit. That was the motto for that. Because
that was the motto.
They Flamesword wouldn't join without. They were just like a duo, and we were a duo, and we're just like, well, might as well just combine it because we can't get one of them. So
it's crazy to think like how high level those tournaments could have continued to be. Like imagine if there were more my mic just fucking fell straight over. Imagine if there were more Reach events, like No Bloom, No Sprint Reach events after that with us and Instinct. Imagine like the series that would have happened,
Yeah, I think the quality would have been like way better. It actually had like more close series and stuff instead of like.
Well, it went. Our winners finals went game 5 with them. They were up 2-0 on us too, and we brought it to game 5, and then game 11. Game 11, 50.
That was like a really good series.
50, 48.
Wish I could watch that.
Yeah. You can watch.
Well, you can, but I mean, like just like back then, watching it like in the crowd or something, because that's such a good series. Like game 11, you can't ask for like Nats game 11.
Yeah,
or not Nats, sorry, but
oh,
like
it felt like a finals. Like it literally felt like
it was
a
like the
Nats
last tournament. Yeah, everyone knew it was like the last tournament.
Well, you remember the turnout for that event too, for that 2012. Event, like huge. Everyone showed up because everyone was trying to like rep Halo.
It was such a good crowd too.
Huge crowd. It was like a 1,000 man FFA.
Dude, that was so fun.
Yeah, literally 1,000 man FFA. Royal 2, myself, and Enable all ended up in the top 8.
Yeah.
When we went up for the FFA, we had to like sit separately because obviously we're like teammates, right?
It could be like cheating.
Yeah, it was actually really fun.
That was actually crazy. Literally, almost our whole teammates to the finals of the free for all.
Yeah, which didn't happen. Which like didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so shout out Mike. Mike got knocked out round one. We had to climb through the fucking bracket. Mike got knocked out like round 1, and then he's just cheering us on the whole time. He's like, you guys are doing great.
Fool's drinking a beer or something.
Obviously, fast forward, you didn't play in any of the H4 stuff. I really didn't either.
Except for that one tournament they had at MLG. pre-release.
Oh yeah, the one that everyone cheated in.
Yep, that's not real. So
yeah, we got
I guess I didn't really play
we
on
went
that.
with our SQ team to a Halo 4 pre-release MLG event. We got third, but I mean, Matt, would you say we kind of won because everyone in front of us, the Warriors and Ambush, both had people on the roster that had
Yeah,
cheated?
it's not even fair. Those guys are literally playing the game like weeks before it even came out. So I mean, I can't see how it's real. If I'm losing a tournament where it's literally a pre-release where they somehow got a copy early and they just know how to they literally know the maps. And
I just don't like pre-release tournaments anyway. You know, like even the
they're just so random. It's just
even like the H2A pre-release tournament that we played. Remember, like BTH had a pretty good roster, obviously, and like so did Straight Rippin'. But remember, like when we played Straight Rippin', like how good they were, and it's just like this. It's just like dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you like have literally one day to figure it out.
Well,
some people are just somehow.
So we beat Tom basically 2012, then fast forward 2014, I guess. We start teaming with Tom. We team with Richie. H2A. We get first at our first event. Loads of second places after that.
Yeah, it's
I don't know, man. What there's not really much to say for the H2A time period. I feel like we just couldn't really find the right mix, right?
Yeah, we just couldn't really beat EG. I don't know, that's just pretty much our problem.
Like we won the first event.
We went to a decent amount of game 5s too. Had a lot of good series again, but
yeah. Well, because we kept losing game 5 to them. Like we won the first event.
We lose game 5s.
Won the first event. We actually beat them at the second event. They got third. We got second. We lost to like an on fire denial team. It's just the way it goes sometimes. And then EG really kind of found their form, and we just couldn't. We just couldn't really piece it together. And then I feel like we had a hard time back then. It's funny looking back on it because I feel like we had such a hard time convincing people to team with us back then. Or like, I don't want to say convincing, but like we had a harder time deciding of who to team with. Do you feel kind of the same?
Yeah. There's also I don't know, there's not too many options either for
Ola turned us down twice, obviously. But outside of Ola, like we weren't really like we kind of didn't really like have anyone else in mind, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard because like we're just like the second place team, so it's like, well, you can't get anyone from the first place team, and then the other teams were like they'd switch like a decent amount too. So you I don't know.
You say that,
and
SQ
was always sticking together.
You say that, but we got TJ from the first place team. But it was a new game. It was a new game, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh. He's trolling,
right.
so.
Yeah. So fast forward. I keep saying fast forward, but I'm trying to I'm cutting out a lot of time,
Yeah, that's fine.
Go to Halo 5, and we finally find the right teammates, and that's not an insult to the other guys that we teamed with, but we finally found the right mix. Obviously teaming with I'm teaming with Royal 2, Lethal, and Frosty. Pick up Frosty first. Slowly but surely, probably within a month, maybe 2 months, convince Lethal to join. Halo 5 is such a crazy time period, and I want to talk about the beginning of Halo 5 a little bit and what went wrong with it, because it's funny with us, not much went wrong with it because we win regional. We lose X Games. We don't talk about that. We win regionals, go on to win worlds, but dude, Halo 5, if we had an open event for Halo 5, right? How big do you think Halo 5 could have been in the first year if they actually just took the right steps,
Yeah, it could be pretty big. I actually forgot they didn't have an open event, which is pretty silly because it's a new game. I don't know how you don't have an open event.
The first open event wasn't until Orange County. You remember that event that we went to, October 2016?
Yeah, that is so. That was an open event.
Yeah, so then it wasn't a it wasn't a HCS sanctioned event.
Yeah.
You didn't get points for going to it, or I don't think you did at least.
It's such and it was probably such a bad turnout because one, it's in California, and it was in this weird. It wasn't even it was just such in a weird place too. It was an hour out of LA too, so it's kind of just like I don't know, because
Well,
West Coast events are always hard.
You remember that we thought about not going. Like it was like 3 days before we didn't have our. We were on Optic at the time. Yeah, we were on Optic.
We didn't
at the
even
time.
book,
and
we
didn't have
we were
our.
figuring out if we really wanted to go to this, if it was like even worth it, because
Yeah. And we
was
decided
the prize pool even small. It was like really small too. It was like 2,000 each for first.
It was
like,
a super small prize pool, not a huge turnout event. I mean, think about it. It literally took a whole year for there to be an open event.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna talk, and that's part of what we want for this kind of. I don't know if, like I said, it's gonna be a series. I guess we're gonna use this to talk about some stuff that we think needs to be different in Halo or whatever. But I mean, mistake number one for Halo 5 that hopefully Infinite doesn't follow. I mean, you need an open event, because those open qualifiers for Worlds was 100+ teams.
Yeah.
And then it took a entire year to get the first LAN event. That's
and
crazy.
Not only was it like the first one, but it wasn't even like it was in not the best spot, like a West Coast with like a non-sanctioned like, dude, it was like an esports arena, which is like, it's like it's a bad place, but it was just like it's
esports
super
arena
small
was just starting
for like
out.
It's such a small. It's like a LAN center that's not meant for like. I mean, there was like room, but it was not like
it was just like
not
a
the
LAN,
proper. Not for your first open event. It should be non-HCS sanctioned. It needs to be like an MLG event where it's like proper.
Because the next open
stuff.
event, and then. Dude, man, we were like a year behind in Halo 5 when it came to like how these events were ran, because then you had UGC St. Louis, which I don't remember the team turnout, but this was the next two were open events. There was UGC St. Louis and PGL Vegas, I think it was called, and they were both qualifiers for the second World Championship.
Or Millennial. I have a thing on my wall. What does it say? Doesn't even say PGL.
Wait, you got it. Well, wasn't it? Oh,
I have the check.
Wasn't it PGL?
Probably was. I think they're part like Millennial. It probably is PGL, but I don't know. On the check, it doesn't say PGL, which is weird.
Wait, you have a check?
Yeah, I got a check from like because they gave us a check from that event, and they sent it to me. I don't know. I guess I was the one to.
Dude, how did you? I never got
it's
a
on
check.
my wall. It says Optic. Well, it was only one, like a big, like the thing you hang on your wall.
Oh,
it's just a big ass one.
So they just sent it to you?
Yeah, it's on my wall still. Looking at it as we speak.
I've only kept a couple trophies. I don't have that many trophies.
Yeah, I only have I have 2 or 1. I got the Worlds one, and then.
I mean, for Halo Infinite, you got to think it's got to be different, right?
Yeah, it needs to just be. It just needs to be more like open tournaments right off the bat, or not off the bat, but like when the game's starting out, and especially the Infinite, there's gonna be so many people, but it's gonna be more than Halo 5. The fact that it's like crossplay and everything,
free to
and
play,
then also that
cross-play.
esports I forget
engine.
what they're called. Is that the esports engine? Like now that they're running it, AK like old MLG, I'm assuming is like this mostly the same people. But
Adam Apicella, the saver.
Yeah. So like I'm sure he can run a proper tournament. He's been running it for like literally 20 years. So I just pray that we can actually have like a proper open event. And
do you think?
I mean, also with Corona, this isn't kind of stupid. But
do you think that this is a kind of a hot topic in Halo right now? So I mean, we might as well talk about it somewhat. Do you think that like these, because I mean, let's be real, right? We don't have any kind of like information for it, but realistically, probably online, at least for the start of. Or whenever Infinite comes out, I guess it kind of depends on when the release of it, but we assume some stuff will probably be online because of, COVID and traveling and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. It's probably going to be like, they're going to probably do like the same thing they did in H5, where it's going to be like, online, probably like qualifier or something.
How do you feel about double limb tournaments for these online qualifiers? Everyone's talking about it right now, right? It's because we're figuring it out for the Pro Series.
I feel like
what
double elim is probably. No, I feel like double elim. Like right now, I actually like I don't care about double elim because like I feel like the state we're in, like it's, I don't know, just the prize pools and everything. It's like, double elim is always the best thing. Like single elim. We had single elim worlds, which is, I mean, that also is a big mistake. Like we literally played a single elim for $2.5 million, which is like. Thank God we won, but when I think about it, it's like it's pretty insane that you can just lose a tournament like that. But
it's actually crazy to think, like, for that event specifically, Man, I forget that was single limb all the time. Like that was like a risky event for us because like we're like the clear favorites going into it, right? And that's not to brag, but like we going into Worlds 2016, we we're like 13-0ing everyone online, like not running into much issues. A single limb tournament, man. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, you could like we could just like what if we just came out slow one series like and we just lose? Like I don't know, it's so possible.
I mean,
or
look
like
what
we just choke in our pool.
Go back
like
to yeah. Well, I have mixed feelings about
not
EG.
like choke, but
I have mixed feelings about EG.
Yeah.
To be fair, because I'm not sold that they were the number 2 team. I don't think that because we obviously ended up playing EG for top 4, so they ended up getting 8th. I don't think that they were an 8th place team, but I'm not sold that they were like a 2nd place.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about the double limb online stuff specifically because man, like for let's say for our first Worlds qualifier, right? We were getting 100 plus teams. Those open qualifiers that we played in like before X Games. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We had 100 plus teams. How like you need double limb because you need to make sure that the best teams are like finding their way through. But I mean, 100 teams, man. 100 teams, double limb. I feel like that's like a 2-day.
That's the problem. Like, I feel like it has to be like some type of. I don't know how you do it. It's because that's the problem. Like, I'm not trying to sit in my chair for 3 days. Like, is it like a weekend long tournament? Which is like it. I mean, I guess you could do that. I wouldn't mind like doing a weekend long. Yeah, like if it's. Yeah. Like it could be a 3-day thing, which is. But I mean, I guess some people can't spend 3 days. I don't know. It's just. I don't know how you can do double elim with that many teams. Even like just doing double elim now with like in Halo 5
takes
like
a long time.
Stuff we're playing, it takes a long it takes like 7 hours to do a single elim 16 bracket, right? So think about like I just don't even know if that's possible, to be honest.
Yeah, I try thinking of like other stuff. Like I can't think off the top of my head. Like, were there ever double limb online like back in like the Call of Duty 2K 5Ks? Like those were all single limb, right?
Was it?
I think that they were.
I can't because I feel like our Halo 5 was single limb, right?
I think so. I think like all the Team Beyond stuff
our 2Ks,
that we used to play
like
back
when
in
we
the
played those
day.
like 5Ks, I feel like they're single elim, right? Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah, they were. They were for sure. They 100% were.
Because I don't remember ever like losing and playing.
So what's the argument now or the reasoning now of everyone? I don't know. There's kind of been like a freak out about needing double limb. Like, what do you think's been the reasoning now compared to before, or has it always been a thing? What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't heard really people say anything about it until like now, which I mean, like I don't agree. I agree. Like double elim's always the better. Like I feel like you always get the quality team, not the quality team, but like usually like the better team. You find like
through
eventually
double
get through.
You'll
double
find
like the top teams
through double limb. You're guaranteed, or essentially guaranteed to that is the best. The placings are true, right? That's kind of the way that I'd say to look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know what you're supposed to do online. It's like you can't like for the amount of money too, because like I'm not just like to say it's about the money, but we're playing with like such small prize pools that like I don't know, is it worth to spend like 2 days playing a double elim to like possibly get the same result?
Well, I think it's probably not. I think it's not. I think it's probably not realistic for people to. People got to take
everyone
off.
Can take a whole weekend just to play like how much whatever you win.
We're fortunate where this is our jobs, where it's like if that's what we have to do, it's what we have to do, and sure we could sit through a 2 to 3 day tournament online, but most people playing and trying to make it through the open into the pro series, they don't have 3 days, 2 days to take off of work and plan their life around. I don't know. It's definitely that's
where the spot we're in now is like it's not.
Yeah,
we're like in a dry period where it's not like you can just. Everyone has orgs and like I think not like they're full time.
But I think that's why like pool play was so important back in the day, because you would play in these single limb, and like this is for like LAN events, so it's a little bit different, I guess. But you would play in these online 2Ks and 5Ks, and you would hopefully do pretty well. and then you just made sure you made pool play, and then when you make pool play, you get a 1 seed, you get a 2 seed, right?
Yeah. That's why I don't know. That's why I don't feel like it's that bad right now. Like I'm not like complaining about it, but like I mean, I guess I could be biased, so it's like hard. I don't want to like discredit what other people.
I just have a hard time with it now just because of how long it would take. Because
dude, that is my problem, is because I feel like I'm playing single elim and I'm already kind of just like 7 hours. Like what do you do with a 7-hour single elim? Like how are you gonna make it?
I think in our experience too, like we tend to like roll through, like we just try to get all of our matches done back to back to back to back. So what ends up happening for us a lot is, let's say we win round 1 of the bracket, we end up waiting a really long time, and then like if you have double limb, it's even more, right?
See, like I was thinking, would double elim and get rid of pools be the same thing as playing pools, or no?
I think it
would it like, because you play three matches, and like if you already started in bracket and those counted as real games, would you not like already kind of be ahead? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think if you were gonna do today, and I think if you're gonna, I think if online you're gonna do double limb, you probably got to get rid of pool, because realistically,
100%. You can. I was gonna say you cannot have pools because you're playing 3 pool play then double elim. That you're already wasting like almost 2 hours just playing pools.
I feel like it's a lot of the same thing though for double limb or pool play, like for this stuff specifically. You know what I mean? I feel like the placings are relatively
well. That's what I was saying. Like I don't want to be like, I don't know, because I just feel like even if it's double elim, you're getting the same teams that are going to get top 4 regardless, I guess. But because I feel like that's what pools is for, is like you're supposed to guarantee your seed because you have the seed. Like, does it not make, I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's definitely difficult because I think people feel shortchanged a little bit of, let's say let's use like Cloud9 as an example, right? Like Cloud9, in the first open, they played against us. We played them for top 4, right?
Something like that.
So in the first open seeding tournament, we played Cloud9 for top 4. And we end up beating them, so they get top 8. Realistically, I think that one of the reasons why they want double limb is because that 8th place to them is such a slap in the face, because clearly they're not probably an 8th place team. Yeah.
That is, yeah.
It's just tough though.
But it all stems down to is like the beginning of the how you get your points in the first place. I think that's the problem that. I feel like no one would be complaining, but I feel like if everyone got an equal seed, let's say we are first, C9 second, and everyone third, fourth, but since the seeds are a little messed up, it's I don't know.
Well,
I just feel like
the biggest
pools get a little funny. We're in C9's pool and now they're second place and they have to play someone good round 1 or something like that.
Well, I think
instead of them being in their own separate pool.
Yeah, so I think one of the complaints that I've seen with what's going on right now is obviously, that how they do the seeding right now, or no?
For
the, let's say the H3 stuff, did you know how? Okay, hold on, sorry, let me rephrase. Did you understand how they were planning on doing the seeding?
No.
Okay, so they were planning on using
I heard something about ELO or something.
Yeah, so they were planning on doing the seeding through the Face It ELO system, which is how, in that second tournament, the second open seeded tournament that we played, that's how the bracket was so messed up, is because they didn't go off of true seeding. They went off of this ELO point system.
Which, did they not change that?
No, so they did. They ended up changing it, but then that's where now, I don't know if you've seen people complaining about it, but over on the H3 side, because obviously they have the H3 tournaments every Friday, I think that they still use that system, and because there's no true point system, so they keep using that. I don't know. I actually don't know for the Pro Series. I don't know how they come up with who goes into what pool, to be honest with you. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, I actually have no idea.
Well,
I just know that they just what pool are we at? We're always random, right? We're never
we've been pool A. We were the only ones that were seeded accordingly, that I know of. I think.
Shouldn't it usually go like second is B, third C,
yeah, that's how it's meant
D,
to
and
go.
then
But I don't know. Like one of the times I tried doing it, I think
and
that's
then
one of
one
the
place.
good things about esports engine though, man. And one of the things that I think that everyone can kind of look forward to for Halo Infinite is I think for the most part MLG kind of always got it right.
Yeah, I feel like they know.
Like Adam knows how to run a bracket, right?
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I like. That's what I was saying before. When all this stuff comes out, like I feel like they know how to actually run a bracket. They know how to run the proper game types.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'm sure if we say something, they'll actually like like listen and not
Yeah.
we tell people things and they'll put the game types wrong again, over and over again. Like I don't know.
Dude, like in the H3 tournaments back then,
Yeah,
they didn't know
just
that
like
the Slayer has to be game 2 and game 5.
even now, like we'll play the H2A stuff and like I don't know,
Yeah.
like stuff will be wrong still. It's like
Yeah. I think
like
I think one of the biggest issues right now that we ran into, obviously this is all like grassroots stuff and whatnot, but I think one of the biggest issues we run into is just the lack of understanding, I guess, because we're having these grassroots tournaments and not every admin or operator, or however you want to explain it, like understands like the structure that we follow and have followed for so many years. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, because it's like some admin will come in and they've not played Halo, but they understand how to like admin tournaments or something, and they'll just be like confused.
Yeah,
and they just like won't know, like some game types would be wrong, and they're just like, or I don't know. So it's just
well, like like Fung 4, for example, like with the whole ball glitch thing. I mean, we don't have to talk about it too long, but it's like the ball glitch thing has been going around for such a long time. I've never seen a replay for it, and then they just got they hit the AM team with like just a straight rule book, a rule book that I didn't even know was there.
I don't think it's there. I don't know.
No, apparently
like,
no, it's there. No, it is there. No glitches are technically allowed. So like the start glitch isn't allowed for Halo 5. The ball glitch isn't allowed, so you better watch out for that because I know you're a ball glitcher too.
Yeah, I've never ball glitched before.
Nah, I think it's a big issue. One of the things, this is, we're running on to like 40 minutes now, so I want to ask like 1 to 2 more questions, and then after this, I think we can just use this as a platform to like keep talking about stuff. But one of the things that I've been thinking about more and more. So, did you see Faceit obviously changed the game types, right?
Yeah,
you saw that
they took out the refuge and put Fathom,
and we've been pro players for, let's say, a pretty long time. 9 years or so. What do you like for Infinite? Do you want pro players to have like a really big say in the competitive settings, or no? Or like, how do you? I don't know. Like, because I personally have like a mixed feeling. And I'll explain it in a minute, but I want to hear your thoughts first. So, what do you, when it comes to pro players having a say in, like,
I think, like, dude, I don't know. That's actually a good question because I look at like CS, and CS has no say. Okay, I wouldn't say no say, but the problem is Valve doesn't like listen to them as much. Like, they're not as actually like as open ears as like 343 or like they don't. But like, it just depends how good the game is. Like, I actually would rather not have pros like. Maybe have like a little bit of say, but I don't want them like, having polls like every month and just determining like what, like, just like getting a map removed that fast, like the snap of the finger, be like, I don't like this map anymore. It's now removed. And I feel like it shouldn't be that easy, but I also feel like pros should have some type of say. Cause I mean, like we usually know what's good or like what's best for like, the game and the scene, but also should be taken with like a grain of salt. It shouldn't always just be instantly like pulled and changed.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation, isn't it? Because through all of Halo 5, and maybe we could talk about this on a separate video, but like through all of Halo 5, like pros were really meant to have this like big say. We were meant to be in these meetings and have a say, and ultimately the developer would just go decide whatever they wanted to do. They wouldn't, most of the time they wouldn't listen to us, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like it's almost the reverse of, I feel like players can just like say, let's create a poll. And because it's all grassroots, like stuff can change really easily. Would you kind of agree?
Yeah, well, I mean, they just changed something, and I didn't even know it was getting. I didn't even get
Yeah,
asked if
because
it
we
was
didn't
getting
get a
changed,
survey,
so
right?
I'm
So
confused.
I
I
like
literally woke up one day and the game types are changed, and I
yeah.
didn't even ask. So I don't know how they came to the conclusion with that.
So
So
so because of this situation happening with us, of obviously full context, we just kind of mentioned it. The game types for the Pro Series, the Halo 5 Pro Series, was changed. I don't want to harp on it too much because it's kind of like whatever for what we're doing right now. But it was changed without, everyone was like surveyed, but our team didn't receive a survey. I assume it would have been majority would have voted anyway. I mean, right? Majority, because a lot of the players now don't like
yeah,
refuge flag and wanted Fathom back in. But, I kind of like this whole thing made me kind of question the pro player involvement. Like, I've always been someone who pushed for professional players to be involved. Like, obviously
yeah,
through 2016 forward, I've probably been one of the advocates for it, right? But it's frustrating for two reasons, and I question it for two reasons. One, I don't like pro players being involved when you're just not going to be listened to anyway, because I think that creates a really hostile environment, kind of like what happened through all of Halo 5.
yeah.
And then in this situation that ends up happening now, I kind of like question how much players should be able to determine like game types and stuff like that, because some of it just feels like if it's not going your way, you might just vote for the opposite, right?
Yeah, I don't know how often these polls happen. I didn't even think like because usually when we play this grassroots stuff, it's kind of like we're playing the grassroots, like we're not changing stuff. Like in Halo 3, like did we change? Like we didn't
No.
change. I mean, like
Well,
we're not like
like
changing maps or like we were kind of just like, we're not gonna be playing that for this long. Like it's kind of like a throwback. Like
I think
it's like the grassroots. Like we're not just gonna like
yeah.
play what we've been playing and like not worry about like changing stuff.
Yeah, because like for
Unless it's like
H2A, for example, like a poll was given for like should the turret be allowed or not be allowed, like
yeah,
stuff like that. And I
that
think
stuff
pro
is fine.
players are
Yeah,
great
like
for stuff like that specifically. But like I don't know, it's really interesting because the more I think about it, the more I like. I mean, you're kind of like well versed in every esport, right? I mean, you follow
yeah.
everything. Can you think of any games in particular that are super tight between pro players and developers that determine that kind of stuff? Like, what map are you going to play this season?
I there's like I don't think there's any game. Does COD do that? Like COD doesn't talk to developers. That's like
No, they have a hard time with their developers as well.
like a CDL thing.
Sure.
Like when if they get they don't really get rid of maps though. They just veto.
They veto.
Like,
Well, they
don't
have a
really,
veto system nowadays. Yeah.
I feel like we're like I don't know. 343 is like. I mean, we actually get to like have a little bit of a say, but like
It's like
it's just weird.
It's like there's the good and the bad. Like I like pro players being able to influence settings and I don't know, come to some kind of conclusion, but then there's obviously the situation where I just don't agree. Like, we can reference you remember the overshield glitch back in 2016?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah, so the overshield glitch, real quick, for those of you that don't remember, was basically a way that it was a button combo. You could hold your pickup and beat down at the same time, and you would pick up overshield or camo instantly. You couldn't do it online because I mean, Matt, it would literally break the game, right?
Yeah, like the whole game, it would actually freeze, and you go like black screen and like.
Yeah. So, you would go black screen, you'd lag out, you couldn't use it at all. And I remember I've been kind of like salty about this ever since then. You remember, like in the pro meeting at Worlds, our team was like, "Yo, we should all agree to not do this," right?
Yeah.
And literally nobody said the same. No one practiced online. No one wanted to do it. And there's like other drama for it. I'm sure you remember, Matt, but we won't even go into that. But when we talked about it in the pro meeting, no one could agree to not do it. And it kind of just hits you with some of this stuff. Like I love pro. It's such a fine line because I love pro players having a say and being involved and trying to make the best game possible. But then like there's those situations, you know what I mean? And these obviously directly impact us, so I don't want to be like too biased to it, I guess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's just like it's just one of those things. It makes you think. I think like you and I have been doing it a long time where I think we can we could take the selfishness out of it of like, oh, impact. Like, look, nothing's impacted us in a negative way. The overshield glitch, it didn't make a difference. We ended up going on to still win.
Well, some people say that about like ARs and stuff. Like, I don't know, like, not like pro players, I don't think said it, but like some people are just, you know, that are watching, but like, oh, why would CLG want to get rid of ARs or like winning with ARs? Like, of course they're not going to like vote or something, but it's like, you know, the complete opposite.
Well, I think
I've never been like, oh, these settings are bad, but like we're winning, so I'm just gonna keep them because it favors us. Which, I mean, it's a thing. That could be a thing though. So it's like, how do you balance that?
That's kind of the $1 million question.
Because not everyone's gonna be like.
It's kind of the $1 million question. I think our team is really unique, and I don't want to like gas us up too much, but our team's really unique where, you know, for the voices that we've had, we've always tried to push things for the better, never for what would benefit us. And I can say that, like, I mean, I think we both can say that really confidently. Like, anytime we've gone into testing of new game types and stuff like that, it was never like, oh, Eden Strongholds is one of our best game types. Like, I don't want to change that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a tough question and something that needs to be figured out. Do you think it's possible to figure it out?
I don't know. I don't know what you do. It's just hard to, like, it's just hard to figure out. I don't know if you should be having pro players with so much influence on the settings, especially with the new game. At the same time, you have to like figure out the settings. But if the developers don't listen to you, like, what's the point? Like, you might as well. I just don't even want to say it all if we're gonna, you know, go through what we did in H5.
Yeah, because like H5, like H5 was such like it was a little bit of a slap in the face where like you would test stuff and try to figure stuff out, and you would come to a conclusion for the developer to then say, nah,
just give you an ultimatum. They literally go like, yo, what do you guys think of these options? Here's 4 options. Like, you know, give us your feedback, brother. Like, come on, and we test it, and then they'd be like, okay, well, it's either this or this.
Yeah,
like,
you would choose option 4, and they'd be like, okay, well, it has to between.
Well, it's between option 1 or 2,
one
actually.
Or 2. Yeah.
It's like, what? And you're just like, okay, like the oddball thing. Like, we had to play oddball.
Yeah.
Or they made us play an oddball, and they're like, well, which one do you want to play, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, it wasn't like no, we're not playing oddball. It's like, no, you're playing oddball, but it's like, okay, which one are you playing?
How do you feel like MLG went about it back in the day? Because I can't even remember, like, off the top. Like, you know, I've been a pro player since 2009. I can't remember ever testing, and you know what I mean.
I don't know. Did they test stuff? I remember the only thing I remember back in the days when they did a poll for Halo Reach if you wanted Bloom or not. Remember? They did like a pro poll. That was the only thing I remember voting for.
What did you vote
Sprint
for?
And no Bloom.
What did you vote for?
Or no Bloom, no Sprint. Well, I voted no Bloom, no Sprint because there was Sprint and Bloom.
Yeah.
And I remember they had a pro poll, and every team had to vote, or every player had to vote because they're like, well, it's like, do we actually play no Bloom, no Sprint?
And people voted to keep it, right?
Yeah, it was like fucking. I think it was like Goofy and Nate and them or something, their team. And there's like 2 teams that voted Sprint and Bloom.
And that kind of shows you what we're talking about, doesn't it? Like people voted to keep Sprint and Bloom in Halo Reach it was at the start, right? I think it was for the first event. It kind of shows you what we're talking about of like there's this fine line of like what should be allowed and shouldn't be allowed. I'm not saying like for this Faces stuff, it's not like, I think you and I both kind of think the same. Like, it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's just, this stuff is so like small that I'm not like I'm worried about like the future. That's why I'm like, which is this stuff. It just, I like let it slide right now.
Which is why I wanted to like jump on and do this. You and I have talked about doing this a couple of times. I wanted to jump on and do this because I think it's really good to just like kind of talk it through, and like I think it's an interesting take where like we don't really care right now about it, but I think you and I are both taking the stance of, for Halo Infinite, being extremely vocal and getting our point across and making sure we try to do what's best for the community and best for the game. But it's tough when you like don't have the answers to it, you know?
Yeah, that's why for this stuff I just hopefully everything's like, I don't know. I would
love to know what other people think on this, because it's something we've obviously dealt with for quite a while. Like you just said, like I think you just said, you hope everything's good right off the bat, right? Like just great settings.
Yeah. Not
much to debate on and settle into and figure out. But
I just hope I don't know. It's a hard, because like I just hope the settings are like everyone plays on the same settings, which is like, you know, we always ask for that in H5 too.
Yeah.
But it just makes it easier because like if we have separate settings, then like how are other people supposed to view their opinion on it if not everyone's playing on the same settings? Like, if like League of Legends, like you play this champion, everyone plays the same champion, and if this thing's broken, like everyone can have a say on it. But like if only the pro players are playing a certain settings, then you're kind of like cutting the community off. And then I think that's where like the like where the pro polls come in, and like that's where I think we have the most say in some of the settings.
So you're on the side of So you're on the side, I think this would be probably a topic for a whole separate video, like later on for Infinite. But are you on the side of like out-of-box settings should be universal for everyone?
I feel like it's like the best way, but obviously like it clearly like doesn't go like that for like the last couple Halos. It's always like they're going to change something.
Yeah, but
I feel like if somehow we can get like out of the box, like just
it's best
easy,
case.
simple.
It's probably best case scenario.
Like it's every game should be like that. It should never be. I feel like it should never be split. What I'm saying.
All right, this is gonna be the actual last question, and then we're gonna end it, and we'll keep doing this for another time if people enjoy it, or if we just feel like ranting about whatever happens.
Yeah, tell us what you want to rant about because we can rant for years.
Yeah, we have a lot of Halo knowledge, and a lot of stuff has happened that we can rant forever. Okay, so last topic, Halo 5. We're gonna break it down into two parts, okay? Did you like ARs in Halo 5? And do you think the game could have succeeded with assault rifles in Halo 5? Like for competitive?
I didn't mind our ARs in the beginning because it's new, but then like after like we played it for a really long time, but after a while it was clear it just wasn't just the best place for competitive. Like it was clear it wasn't even like the assault rifles, it was like also the weapons on the map.
Storm rifle
ARs were really strong, and there's also like SMGs and like storm rifles. Like it wasn't just the assault rifle, it was literally like every weapon on the map was like so strong, which is like not a bad thing, but the fact that you're using like an automatic weapon takes literally zero skills,
so I have like a different take on Halo 5. I think that assault rifles could have I think what they tried to do for the first Worlds actually made sense. They tried to just have it straight out of the box. People didn't like it because of radar and all that stuff, right? And I understand, I get it, because it's not true to like what Halo is. We've been Halo players for a really long time. Obviously, it's not true to what Halo 100% is, right? But I get what they were trying to do. What I think that how Halo 5 failed, or like where Halo 5 was a failure for me, was that the game was so hard to update. Realistically, like how for that 2017 Worlds, we basically played on the same settings, right, as 2016. Imagine if we had like an update to like change the AR damage and remove a storm rifle on the map, or nerf the storm rifle. You know what I mean? Like small stuff like that.
Yeah,
that you could have equally made universal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be like the ideal scenario, but it's just so hard. Like they just couldn't do any of that, and it just takes too long. So it's like if we figure out like, oh, the storm rifle needs to be nerfed, it's like, well, they're like, we got to figure out how to nerf it, and it's not like, I feel like people weren't on this stuff. Like, I don't know. It's what I'm like. If something, I don't know the inside 343, but like, I feel like they figure out a problem. Like if we tell them this problem, it's gonna take them like 4 to 5 months to like actually work on the storm rifle instead of like being actively like like trying to tweak stuff as the game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that was the biggest issue for Halo 5 in general, and our hope is, and we'll kind of end it here, is the hope is, right, for Infinite, that is fixable. When a game, when something is on the map, rather than it needs to go 100%, maybe you can update it and adjust it to where it could stay on, and then the, like you kind of mentioned, the blend of casual and competitive stays true, right?
Yeah. Because you never know, like maybe ARs could have been, I don't think they would have been good, but like what if they just nerfed the AR damage so it wasn't like super strong, and it was made like for an up close only, and it only did like not as much damage, because the AR was like super strong, obviously.
Well, the AR, they needed the roles reversed. They needed the pistol to be used the most, and the AR used less. And what ended up happening was, I mean, the AR was a sniper rifle. I mean, you could if someone was one hit, you could literally take out your AR and get a headshot multiplier and kill them.
Yeah.
No problem.
It was like you use the pistol for like long range, and then like pretty much medium range you just like AR beat down towards the end, and then also throw in the spar and charge. Like
That's a whole separate topic.
Yeah.
But yo, Matt, it's been a blast, man. I think we did a pretty good job following the timeline. Hopefully people can keep up with it.
Yeah, we're a little all over the place, but
yeah, but it all ties together at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Anything to add with it? Closing comments.
That's everything. But if you guys want to see any more videos, I love talking about stuff. I always say I need to make YouTube videos, so I'm glad I could get on PJ's video. But yeah, if you guys have any topics or anything, just let us know, because I'm always down to talk about anything that you guys want to hear. I haven't really done much like podcasts or just videos in general, so I have a lot of knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah,
in my old
we have a
nowadays.
lot of stuff that we can talk about for sure. I'd definitely be interested to see how some people react to this, what they think of it, and topics to cover. I think that we could always tweet about it and stuff, but hopefully the YouTube section finds this interesting, and we'll dive in. It's easy to talk about stuff as it's happening. We can kind of, maybe one of the next things we'll end up talking about is like Infinite going free to play and PC and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
that could be could be a good topic.
Yeah.
But we'll like I said, we'll leave it at that because I think we could talk forever. So we'll leave it at that. Hope everyone enjoyed listening and watching, and catch you on the next video. Peace out.